Guys, where do we begin? So much happened in this episode. It's the season 2 premiere of Claws. We're talking about shifting alliances. We're talking about new friendships, new romances, and a wedding. We have so much to talk about. I can't wait. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin. Let's go.
Yes. This might be the clawsiest song I've ever heard.
You get this on your playlist.
We were saying last season, I gotta keep dancing.
Yeah, you just cannot. Like, when you hear this song, you just don't.
I shouldn't be wearing a cardigan. This is not a good outfit for Claws.
No, it's actually the perfect outfit.
Perfect.
You know
Thank
what?
you,
No,
Jaimi.
rock it. I like it.
I like
Ladies
it,
and
but not for
gentlemen,
this.
Not for this. Next, I'll ratchet it up next week. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Claws After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Of course, if you're a returning fan, you know my voice, you know my name. It's Jeff. I'm back, and I can't wait. We don't have Jesse, Marielle, or Kelly this season, which is okay because I have some amazing panelists who are joining us for this season. Jasmine, say hi to the fans.
Hi, I'm Jazzy. Nice to meet you.
And we got Jaimi.
Yes, hi guys, I'm Jaimi Gray.
So I know we don't have some of the old panelists back, guys, but that's okay because Jazz and Jaimi are awesome.
We're amazing.
And maybe we can bring the other guys back to guest here and there.
that'd be
you know.
awesome.
We're gonna keep the seat warm for them in the meantime.
The most important thing, though, guys, is that just like our last panel, these two ladies love the show Claws on
I love
TNT. And we're
intense.
back with the premiere of season 2. I want to get into it in just a little bit, but before we do, we have so much amazing stuff in this episode, guys. First of all, we're listening to, is this Too Short or Ying Yang Twins?
Too
Short.
This is Too Short.
Featuring Little John.
Featuring Lil Jon.
Yes.
So we're actually going to talk more about this song in our special segment, which is our Song Spotlight. Claws has so much amazing music that we want to feature
Yes.
some of it in the Song Spotlight every week. But there's also a ton of episode to cover. So guys, we'll be talking about the Russians today. We'll be talking about Zlata. We'll be talking about Olga and her new kid. We'll be talking about, I mean, there's just so much.
So many.
Because of all that, I want to know, what did you guys think of this episode overall?
Honestly, it was kind of too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
Because when it first started, I'm like, okay, I like how the spin went. Like, I like to see Desmond, excuse me, more in charge. But then now I'm like, I don't know what to think. I'm more worried than I was entertained.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked that though. I thought this season opening was wild. I felt like they were just pulling out all the stops like for this specific episode, especially since the season finale. I felt like it was a great finale, but it was very clean to where you're like, okay, what do we expect? I don't know if they just didn't know if they were going to be on for a second season or not,
Right.
but they brought it and I was here for it.
Yes.
I mean, it was a very Claws episode. We got
Yes.
female friendship. We got naked men dancing in a
Yes,
strip
which I was
club.
here for.
We had tons of guns. We had a point blank face shot.
That's true.
That was crazy.
Just so much.
And we also have a new addition to the family.
Yes.
We do. I think you're
She's also
talking
becoming
about.
a fave.
Yeah. So are you talking about Zlata?
Yes.
Played by Franca Potenti.
Yes. That's
Yes.
not the only addition to the family.
Because we also have Olga and Roller's daughter or son. Did we find out the gender of the baby?
We didn't.
We don't know.
But I was also thinking about Virginia and Sid and Secrets.
Oh, I
That's
know.
the other new
There's-
addition to the family.
It's a lot going on.
It's a
I will
lot.
say
don't
there's
know
so
where to
much
start.
going on. I did love the episode, but it was a little busy for me in terms of plot. It's funny. I think
can see that.
on a spectrum of Claws, it's like we have the crime component of Claws and then like the just like chilling out ladies in the salon component of Claws.
I agree.
I feel like every episode's kind of on a sliding spectrum of how much we get of each.
Right.
I will say, I feel like for me personally, we were tilting a bit more toward the crazy crime chaos.
That's true.
But that's okay,
Yeah.
because I still loved the episode. That being said, though, guys, we have a lot to cover, so I'm going to do my best to make sure I hit everything. I probably won't. You guys, we have a 45-minute after show, and I feel like we could talk about this for an hour. But
Forever.
the good news is if we miss anything, there is a comment section down below, and we would love you guys to jump in there.
Show us some love.
Show us some love. We'll be on YouTube and we'll reply. And if you're listening to the podcast, we have a Twitter. I'll talk more about how to reach us later in the show. But I think the first thing I want to talk about is right from the top, we have a whole new power structure.
Yes.
Claws has always been about power. And as of right now, from the beginning, it seems like Riva, R.I.P., is in charge. And it seems like her and Desna are kind of running the ship. And the boys are sort of lower on the totem pole now, having to get their shit
Yes,
together.
I agree with you. And that's what I liked about it a lot.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, in the first season, we saw, like, Desna's the one that's kind of like in the rut and she's being like, just being charged by them, but now she's the one taking charge. So the guys are listening to what she's saying for once,
Yes.
and it's really good to see a woman in charge now.
I liked
But-
it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I like seeing them in the salon chairs. You're seeing them like sprawl down, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you can just tell like they're not really feeling the whole shift in power,
Then
but
right.
it is what it is. So yeah, I love that scene just to see them like that.
It's such a female-driven show that I think the
Yes.
writers were
Okay.
smart to change. No, I'm with you. They were smart to kind of push the power dynamic in this direction.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised, but the boys are not coming through. What was
Sorry
it?
about it.
Were you guys surprised to see that Uncle
actually
Daddy
not
and Brian?
surprised.
I know. Why
I'm
not?
not.
Why weren't you surprised?
Well, for one, I mean, not stereotyping, but it's men. I mean, come on. I mean, a lot of the time, the men depend on us.
Women are
as
usually a lot
women.
stronger.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
We take on a lot already. You know?
Detail-oriented, right?
Yeah, detail-oriented.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wasn't surprised about that. I thought they probably wouldn't really leave, like, Desmond hanging to come up with all these, like, you know, scenarios and ideas to figure out how they can get out of the next rut and the next rut and the next situation. But I'm just hoping they kind of bring it back together. We'll
Yeah.
see what's going to happen.
Definitely.
It's a lot going on because you got like the Dixie Mafia, you
Right.
got the Russian Mafia, and then you have the Haitian Mafia. It's a lot of mafias. Actually, tell us your favorite mafia too. Like, let us know in the comments. And we're looking at the live chat, so let me know.
Are you? Yeah.
Please.
Which mafia would you want to be in?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously these guys aren't depositing money. Which when you're
Mm-hmm.
laundering and you're dealing with only cash, you've got to get that money stored
That
away.
paper trail, yeah.
That paper trail's dangerous. So much so that literally Dr. Ken was setting money on fire in his pharmacy.
I was so,
Crazy.
and that was really weird to me too. I'm just kind of like, Dr. Ken, I'm kind of worried because
Yeah.
it seems like when it comes to like really like, you know, they're on the edge, he just freaks out and he acts on
Yeah.
emotion. That's the last thing we need you to do is act on emotion. Like
Yeah.
we know how like those decisions go, you know?
For sure.
sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand why the guys wouldn't take charge and really pass that money through. They're operating this from the beginning.
Right.
Why stop now?
Yeah.
I could see why though, just with these future scenes coming up, I could see why they might be a little bit nervous, especially with the shift in leadership. So
And the
yeah.
guys are dealing with a lot of grief, which we have a section
True.
devoted specifically to romance because there's a whole whirlwind of crazy relationships too that we'll get
Yes.
into. But
Definitely.
I do, yeah. Dr. Ken's definitely on the edge of his rope, and
Yeah.
it might not. Well, first of all, Jason Antoon, who's a friend of the show who plays Dr. Ken, he plays this so well. So Jason, we'd love to get you back. I
Hey,
know you'll
Jason.
watch the
Hey,
after
Jay.
show. We'd love to get you back, but. You know, it's unfortunate because his other half, Polly, isn't dealing too well with any of this stuff either.
She
Yeah.
almost had a breakdown as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're
I
kind
love
of
her
perfect for each
character.
other.
Yes,
Yeah.
or not. We'll have to see what happens in the
know.
rest of the season. But I think what I want to talk about now is if we're talking about this power structure, we have to talk about the Russians.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to sort out the actual sort of power structure of who everyone is, who's related to who.
Yeah.
So at the
I
beginning
agree.
of the episode, correct me if I'm wrong and let us know in the comments, but we have Riva, who at the beginning is the head honcho.
Right.
Yes.
Her sister's Zlata.
Yes.
Zlata's daughter, Olga,
Olga.
who
came out of
is
nowhere.
Little brat.
booed up with Roller.
Yeah.
And they have a child.
Yes.
Is that all correct?
That is.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Russians are not only, you know, trying to push our team to be on their game, but they're also pushing this cocaine operation. So Zlata and Riva are saying, you know, we already have Uncle Daddy's strip club. That would be the perfect opportunity to push cocaine, to just keep the money coming.
Right.
Did you guys know from the start this was going to be a bad idea?
What do you think, Jamie?
You know what? Well, just even going to, I know Zlata's going to take over, but it all just seemed like a bad idea. Nothing seems to really work out for them, so I just feel bad for them. That's why I feel like they're just so, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess we could just say down in the dumps, like
Yeah.
just from how everything is shifted. So I feel bad, but I knew it wasn't going to work out.
Right.
I seen it coming. I
Yeah.
really did. Just because I don't know. I had a lot of like faith and I had a lot of hope because I'd seen what they did before, like the empire they were running and all that. You know, in the first season. But it's like now when it comes down to it, and the woman's in charge. They don't really know what to do, how to act.
Right.
Not really
It gets
speaking on
crazy.
Desmond and her team, but more so like the men. Like
Right.
they're like now like, okay, well, what do we do? So for it to fall apart the way that it did, it's not really surprising.
Not super
It's
surprised.
not surprising
Yeah.
at all.
Well, the scene that kind of was sort of horrifying to me was when they actually go visit the behind the scenes cocaine production and we see
Yeah.
all these old women in the old folks home bagging in cocaine.
I was not expecting that though. I was like
Neither.
the nursing home,
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
That
that's also
really-
genius.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming out. I was like, wait, what? This lady's a genius.
I
Yeah.
know. That's what Claws does, though, is they take the normal conventions of a crime show, but they twist it on its head. You know what I
do.
mean? Like, all of these people are sort of the archetypes of a normal crime show, but,
Right.
like, one's like a bisexual strip club Florida owner, and, like, all the women bagging cocaine aren't, like, Italian dudes.
Right.
It's, like, all these
Right.
old women in the nursing home. And Claws is so good at kind of borrowing from what seemed like routine plots and just putting all these weird details.
Breaking the norms.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what I love about it, though, because it gives it more like intriguing, more interesting. Like, okay, what's gonna happen next?
Yes.
Like, it
Keeps you on your
honestly,
toes.
yeah, it does. But and you don't even really think about that happening. Like you think it's like, you know, like more so the norm, but
Right.
it's taking you out of the norm. And with the comic relief too, like how can you not just enjoy it?
I know,
Yeah.
they do keep it funny, which I appreciate so much. Okay, so we're in the room with all the women bagging cocaine.
Yes.
Yes.
Zlata kind of takes the stage. She's talking about how she's trying to push a new company philosophy in the style of Sheryl Sandberg, who wrote Lean On, of which Polly thought was maybe an overrated book. I thought that was a hilarious
That was
touch.
funny.
But in her new attempt to push the new company philosophy, Zlata takes out a gun, points it at her sister
Oh
Reva's
my
head,
gosh.
and pulls the trigger.
You guys, my heart, like I did not expect that. That's your sister. Like, okay, granted, I have an older sister. Sometimes there can be like a little sibling rivalry,
I
but
agree.
what?
I would
That's how
never
you
do
know.
that.
That's how you know. Like, she literally does not play any games. You never know what Zlata is gonna do. No. Which it is Zlata, right?
Yeah,
It's
Zlata.
Zlata or Zlata?
We just want to make sure we get her name right, but I think it's Zlata.
If you guys know the name, please let us know, because
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
According to Wikipedia, it's spelled Zlata.
Right.
So Zlata?
I like Zlata.
Zlata.
I think
But
Zlata
I
is
think
correct.
Zlata would be like Z-A-L,
Yeah,
right?
I think
Instead
it's
of Z-L-A.
You gotta say it together. Zlata.
Yes.
Zlata.
It sounds more Russian.
I wasn't honestly, it caught me by surprise because I really thought this was it for Des.
Yeah.
But then it
Yeah.
kind of wouldn't make sense for them to kill off like one of the main characters.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Yeah, too soon. So
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised only because we see it happen often. Like we kind of grow up in this life where they tell you like even your closest family members can turn on you.
Yes.
Right. So I mean,
Especially anything with Dean Norris,
Yeah.
you know, like from Breaking Bad, it's like you
Yep.
don't know what to expect.
You
So,
don't.
but it's a dramedy, so that's why you can't take it too seriously.
yeah.
I will say that I want the show to be careful. I don't want them to
Yeah.
just start offing people every episode. I get why
I
in
agree.
the season 2 premiere we want to come in with a bang, literally. But I do think I want to make sure the writers pull the reins back a little bit next episode, just
Please.
because as much as I love this episode, it was just so banana pants crazy that
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm able to track and follow all of these developments. And, you know, I think the essence of the show is the ladies running the nail salon. So,
I feel like they made it crazy again for the first episode, though, is because they didn't really know if it was gonna go anywhere after the season finale of season 1. And you know, I don't know, I kind of liked it, but for me, when I'm watching an episode, even though we review here, I have to watch it 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
because
I
I
agree.
don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I don't miss anything, and that's with any show. Like
Right.
I'm super invested.
speaking of missing anything, I mentioned it already, guys, but if we are missing anything, we only have so much time. We want to continue the conversation. What's so great about AfterBuzz TV is we're the Conversation Network. Just because this after show is 40 minutes doesn't mean we couldn't talk about this forever. So if you guys are listening on the podcast right now, driving in your car, doing laundry, that's great. You can reach us on Twitter, or you can hop on our YouTube, where we go live every Monday at 4 p.m. and hop in the live chat. Do we have anyone in the chat
Yes,
right now?
we do. We got some people who are saying which mafia they want to be a part of. And
love
just
it.
to give you a shout out, Nakia Emmanuel says, right now I want to be in the Russian mafia side with who's on top. And girl, I'm with you. 'cause
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
I don't want to mess with the Zlata.
So that's an example, guys, of how we use our chat, we engage our fans, and we want to talk to you all the time. So if you like what you hear, you can even hop on iTunes and leave us a review there. 5 stars, because the rest don't work. I saw that from Jesse Janity, who hopefully we can get to guest this season. But just engage with us, guys, whether that's iTunes, YouTube, or Twitter, whatever. We want to be talking to you. So we were talking about Zlata. We were talking about her decision to off her sister. What's interesting is this kind of leads to a crazy friendship a little bit between her and Desna.
Yeah.
But is it really a friendship?
That's what we have to talk
That's
about.
yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think so. I think so. Just in a very, you gotta tread lightly with it, because I think, how can you have a friendship with someone who just shot their sister in the head? I mean, I would be a little bit nervous too. But they're both very similar. They're both bosses, in every sense of the word. So that's what I think. They have similarities, and so I think there's that connection. But Desna's trying to be really careful.
I agree with you about like, them having similarities, but I don't trust this friendship. Like I
Yeah.
don't even call it a friendship. I think it's just a business that they're kind of running. Like, you know, I do for you, do for me, and then some until like, boom, I don't know, you piss me off, because you see how Delilah acts with her own family members. Like that's her
Right.
sister. So why would she not turn on Desna as well? You
Well,
know?
maybe not. I mean, not necessarily like a friendship, but like some sort of companionship to where they're stuck. It's gonna be something. Something's gonna bond them together. I'm just predicting it for next time.
But do you think that Desna's gonna turn on her own girls. That's what I'm worried about.
Desna?
Yeah, I'm hoping that she doesn't get so caught into like Zlata's ways and fear her that way she turns on her own people. Because
I don't think she'd do that. Not Desna.
I don't know.
I mean, there was, we'll get into it, but there was a twist at the end of the episode that makes us wonder a little bit. I think the thing with Desna is, as a character, she's always been such a charismatic. She's always been like the mother hen, you know?
Has.
So like,
and a great problem solver.
Right, but it's an upside and a downside, because when you have that kind of magnetic personality, people are always drawn to you, and so much so that even Zlata wants in on the Desna magic. She talks about like how she's such a queen, you know, wearing that crown.
Yeah, I love that quote though. I love that.
I loved it too, but it is interesting because it's the burden that Desna has to bear as like the matriarch of all these broken people.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, even her brother, you know, like there's just, it's the craziness that her character has to bear. But I kind of am interested because right now Zlata and Desna have this clashing, but also this friendship.
Right.
And once the Haitian mafia gets wrapped up into this, they might need to come together.
Oh yeah, no, that's coming for sure. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they're very similar. They both are very powerful in their ways and the way they speak. I think they could be very manipulative. I think they're very powerful in their own way. And so I do think that a lot is going to need Desna one way or another. And so it's going to kind of correlate.
Right. The one thing I hope is that if they do have a friendship, the thing I like about that is it's so consistent with the themes of female friendship on this show.
I
And
agree.
the show even addressed it this episode, but so many television shows like to pit women against each other and imply that women can't work together because they inevitably catfight.
Which is
but
why.
Zlata's whole thing was like, I want to work with you ladies because like I see the dynamic here, and females. She said the exact same thing I just did in her crazy Russian accent.
Right. I just think they're scared of her though. I think that's the main reason.
Do you have
they're scared.
Can you do a Russian accent, Jeff?
I feel like the themes of the female empowerment and friendship. No, that's like French.
You know what?
I can't.
You could be. Yeah, we'll just go with it.
We'll just go with
We'll take it.
All right. So we'll have to see what happens there. It's hard to see right now, but I'm kind of here for Zlata. You know?
I love Zlata.
Yeah.
She's like I said, she's a boss.
Yeah.
Period.
That's
done.
Franca Portente. So Franca, if you want to come on our show,
You should.
North Hollywood,
You really
We'd
should.
love to have you.
we'd love to have you. All right. Anything else with Zlata, Desna, and the girls? I do like Zlata makes the suggestion of Hammer and Pickle for the strip.
I love that name actually though. From
Yeah.
Shishi to Hammer and Pickle, I say Hammer and Pickle wins.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like Shishi better.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, but just even with the whole Magic Mike theme, who was that? Who was the guy with the long hair and the
Oh,
leopard?
he was really
Ooh,
attractive.
yes.
He was fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna go with Hammer and
He
Pickle,
was.
and it's cute. It's like I think it works.
Nice.
I can see it in West
I think,
Hollywood.
well, I do think it's a really good way to like to kind of disguise your business. Like no one's gonna think anything out of that. I mean, she sounds very more like seductive. Like you don't know what you're
Exactly.
getting into.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. It could be
Yeah.
a sandwich shop. It could be an engineer shop.
Depends on what kind of pickles we're talking about, right?
That
Yeah.
I'm sure that's.
There's
I
many
don't think
types of pickles.
I would want to go in like a strip club that has pickles as a
I
name.
would.
Depends on what
I
kind
love
of
a good
pickles,
pickle.
though, I think. All right. So, speaking of pickles, the next topic I want to talk about is just all of the romances that are in
Yes.
this show. I have 6 different ships here that I want to talk about.
Okay.
Let's break it down.
So, first, we got to talk about Jen and Bryce.
Okay.
Oh boy, they are
Vanilla
not
Bryce.
doing too hot. Vanilla Bryce, yeah.
Vanilla Price.
So the one crazy twist with Jen and Bryce this episode is the Russians force Bryce to watch this Jewish, what's the Jewish dancer's name? The Jewish hillbilly. That's okay. He's important, but not super, super important.
He's semi-important.
We can get back to it, but we get to watch them using their pickles in a very intense sex act, and he has to watch it.
Yeah.
That actually hurt my feelings.
Yeah, this
You were
is
hurt.
insanity.
Yeah. Only because like okay, I'm very sensitive sometimes. so to see that, I'm like, I just imagine me envisioning like my boyfriend or my ex-boyfriend just like going at it with someone else that you don't want to picture that stuff. I don't want to see that. So
Right.
I think that was enough torture as it is. I think Bryce is not as strong as he may seem or may act to be. Like I mean, clearly we know that he was never trying to be a part of this whole mess.
Operation. Yes.
Right.
So to see that was like, it was enough. I don't think he could handle all that.
Yeah, you just saw there's a lot of intimidation going on, so it's like no one
Definitely.
feels like they can really do anything, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense, man. This
Yeah, it was.
show, I mean, every episode you're
It goes
laughing,
there.
you're crying,
You're crying,
you're
gasping.
covering your eyes. It's
I was
everything.
shook, especially that shot.
So where do we think Jen and Bryce are? I mean, we saw Bryce was not hitting on potential prostitutes at the wedding. Good for him.
Yeah, that's good.
But Jen seems to kind of want him back.
Don't do it.
You know,
Don't do it.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I am too.
I'm really. I always believe in second chances.
Yeah.
Just one though. Just one second chance. That's it. But I think that they have a shot. It just all depends on Vanilla Bryce.
Vanilla Bryce.
Because Jen clearly makes it like a clear statement that she wants him back. She misses him. I mean, in the episode we saw how she was like, I'm gonna go stand by him. Like she wants his attention.
Yeah.
But he's not willing to give that to her. But what we don't know is if Jen actually noticed if Bryce seen that video. Like she doesn't know what he saw. He knows that like clearly she had an affair, but she doesn't know that he probably seen them with his own eyes.
Yeah.
So
well, she was watching him watch it, right?
Yeah.
Jen was?
Yeah, because
No,
Desna and her
that
were
was
watching.
Desna.
I think both of them were there watching through the
I thought it
window.
was Desna and Polly.
It was Desna and Polly.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Jen
Yeah.
doesn't
So
know.
Jen
that.
doesn't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
totally. That makes much more sense now.
Yeah.
Yes, because what I was guessing was going to happen was Jen was going to go see Bryce and he was going to clock her in the face or something. I don't know. I was like, I'm worried for them. We don't know. We haven't seen the fallout
Yes, I agree.
from the knowledge of the affair
agree.
yet.
I don't know. Like, okay, because I like Bryce and I like Jen, but I just feel like maybe I take it too personally, like with my own relationships, because I just feel like it's cool to have a second chance, but learn your lesson the first time. Like with her, okay, she cheated. You know, I just feel like just let it go. Okay, just let it go.
But the complication is that they have kids.
So the kids are not going to solve everything. This is why I
Yeah.
take it too seriously.
No, it's good, it's
What do
good.
you guys think in the comments? Like,
Yeah,
should
let
it
us
or
in the
no?
comments, please. But when you say like learn your lesson, so do you think that Jenny's learned a lesson or Bryce? Because I mean, in this case, like
Well,
who
both
messed
of
up
them.
first?
I think they both need therapy at this point. Like, from
Neither of
him
them
being
are doing
forced-
great.
Yeah, I feel like they need like someone in the comments said, Nakia, thank you. She says, I love Bryce and Jim, but I think they need a cooling period for them to get back together.
Yeah.
They need a real break. So that's what I'm here for them. Yeah.
Well, another romance we have is Desna and Dr. Greg, the
Nope.
unicorn. That pretty hot though.
I
Those
like
sex
it.
scenes?
Yeah.
I like it. It's steamy.
Yeah.
I'm all
Music or
here
no
for it.
music, like they make it so realistic. I'm like, all
They
right,
do.
TNT, I see
They
what you're
do.
doing here, but I don't trust him.
I know. Without getting
all.
too graphic, I will say, just commenting on the sex scenes. So many sex scenes, it's kind of like mechanical sex, and there's so much intimacy.
That's
It
what I
is-
like
it
about it.
is.
It's so
Yeah.
real because
Yeah.
a lot of this like sex scenes that you see on TV shows, they're not realistic, or you're just like, oh, okay, like I think that Hollywood is starting to get it. We want to see real
For the real thing.
stuff.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So I think they did a really good job with that.
We haven't seen the real thing
Little
since
too
Monster
good.
Ball. Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it's something that Desna needs. I think she needs someone like that's kind of her level. I don't think Roller was that match. I think that she
Of course not.
probably had like maybe feelings for Roller, but it wasn't anything serious to begin with. So I think this doctor is like where it's at. But I'm only worried that they're going to keep so many secrets from each other
Right.
where it's going
Yeah,
to blow up in
already.
their face. Like, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Okay,
that?
yeah.
So like at the end, where they were like pretty much like each other's targets and didn't know it until last minute.
Okay.
But then love always wins.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm rooting for this couple. I like it. Steamy.
It's the first time she's been happy, you know?
That's
Yeah.
true. In a while.
He makes her happy.
Yeah.
Do you think Desna still has feelings for Roller though?
Nah.
I think you
Roller has
sure?
feelings for her.
Or, yeah. Not enough to mess up
Not
this.
to be with him, but just to like go back and.
I think
you
she
think?
cares.
Do you think?
I think so, just a little bit. Just
Yeah.
a little bit. She might. You never know with this
Jaimi,
season. There's a lot of
Jaimi,
twists and
Jaimi.
turns, and she just might just still
I
want
don't
it.
want to envision the idea of Roller and Desna possibly being something again.
Well,
I know. The thing is, here's what I'll say about Roller and Desna. I feel like the only thing they had before was good sex.
that's
like,
what I mean. I think not like as far as like she wanted to be with him, but I think she would go back just for.
But she's getting it
just
from
for the
Dr.
good
Greg,
loving.
I think. You know?
But
Looks
what
like
happens
it's
when
way
she
better,
finds
by
out
the way.
exactly
right.
what he is?
I could see Roller being a rebound.
Exactly.
I think until something happens with Dr. Ruval, I think Roller's off the table. But I think he still likes her. But of course,
Yeah,
now
for
he's.
sure.
We're going to get. Well, let's go into him now.
Yeah.
The issue with this is now he's someone's husband.
Not by choice
Oh, God,
either.
that's crazy.
That
That
is
was
really
the
crazy.
most ratchet yet regal wedding I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Regal. How can you have both?
I know.
With the
Hand in hand.
outfits, with the horses, but yet the gunshots, I was like, I
Oh,
can't.
I love it. Love it.
This
love
was
it.
insanity. I want to save the wedding because there's a couple more romances
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
talk about, but we will get into it. Polly and Dr. Ken, always
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Always relieving stress.
But do you think that's a real romance? Can you see them actually
comic
like
relief, I
like,
think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
I don't think it's gonna last. I
It
think
reminds
it's
me
just
of-
Good
for
old
fun.
Polly.
Do you watch The Office? Did you guys watch that show?
I've seen The
I
Office,
haven't.
yeah.
Okay, so I think of Angela and Dwight.
Okay.
How
I can
it's
see
like
that.
that
I can
romance
see
is
that
there,
for
but it's
sure.
always kind of like a B story.
Yeah.
It's always kind of a joke a little bit.
Yeah, especially with Polly, it's like you can't really take it too seriously with her, but
Right.
I love her character
Well,
as a whole.
definitely not, because she has so many different personalities. I
know.
don't
Yeah.
know who's Polly gonna
The
be.
way she cuts it off, she's great.
Yeah, she's so good. Polly needs to like rethink her whole career and like get into like acting or something, because she has like so many different personalities to her.
She was in the ballet,
Ironically.
though, guys.
I mean, not only that,
Carrie
what else does she do?
Preston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carrie Preston is so good on this
Yeah,
show.
she is.
Always serving. Okay, Quiet Anne, mourning her breakup. Do we think they're done? We didn't get too much of it this episode.
No,
but
but you know
we didn't
what?
get a lot of it at all.
just checking in.
We just got that when she was, kind of stalking her Instagram, which how many of you have stalked someone's Instagram, whether it's an ex or someone that you're trying to get to know? I'm guilty of it. I might know a lot about you before I actually meet you, but I think it was relatable. Like, what do you guys think of that?
It was
Yeah.
it was relatable, but that was kind of similar too with Dr. Kim and like back in the first season when he was like mourning for his like ex-wife that ended up moving on.
Yeah.
So I've been there. I've done it. It hurts,
Yeah.
But I think you have to really mentally check yourself out. Like
I like how Polly's like, it's unhealthy. And I'm like, oh, it is unhealthy. I need help.
Yeah.
it is unhealthy.
Yeah.
Well, Quiet Anne was one of the only ladies that had a real stable relationship.
Yeah.
All the other relationships are like either
All over the place.
crime or
That's true.
affairs and.
But Quiet
Yeah.
Anne, to me, seems like she doesn't hold on too much. I mean, I think that she can get over it fast.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I don't know.
We all
That might
have
be a
that
defense
time of like
mechanism.
mourning and stuff and missing someone. But give her like a month or so.
Yeah.
She'll be back to herself.
A month shows time.
Yeah, that's true. But if you think about it, I think Quiet Anne, she's like really attracted to just beauty. And so, or not even just beauty, but like when she sees like a nice woman out there who's probably beauty inside, like
Yeah.
she just immediately struck.
And that's what's important.
right. So I think I think she's going to be good. She's fine.
Well, the last one we have to check in on is Virginia and, gosh, what's Desmond's brother's name? I just blanked.
Dean.
Dean,
yeah.
thank you.
Dean.
Yeah, Virginia and Dean. Oh no.
I'm scared.
First of all, he's so observant. Like,
know.
just how he knew. It was cute, though. It was
So cute. So
He's
cute.
like, you're about 7-8 months, and your nose is 2 millimeters wider.
I
like,
know.
what?
like,
I could not be with Dean. I'd be like, you're too observant. I
I
can't.
know. It's like, I give you time, to tell me. But I'm really, really worried about this. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for it at all. I'm not here for it. I like them both individually, but not together.
Right.
I think them just even having intercourse was just the bad ideas.
Can I mention something though?
Please.
With Virginia and her name, which I was mentioning this to Jeff, like, okay, do you think it's ironic that her ex, Chris Brown, just to bring it back to Carucci, her ex, Chris Brown, is from Virginia, which I am also from VA. What's up? And then her character's name is Virginia. Like, why? They couldn't think of any other name.
I kind of, maybe it was intentional.
I think, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like-
a Team Breezy fan, and I'm also a Team Carucci fan, and I don't want to like. No, I don't. It's a coincidence.
Do you think it's a coincidence, or do you think it was on purpose?
definitely not purpose?
Yeah.
Definitely not purpose. I'm saying it's not purpose.
Well, I love it. And Carucci's always serving. She's a great actress.
Yeah,
She's great.
She's
I know.
really turned herself around to where you can really
I'm
see her
happy
acting
for her.
skills. For
Yeah.
sure. She did a great job.
I'm really excited for her.
Okay, well, we have to talk about the wedding. That's the last
Yes.
thing. If this show weren't already doing enough, holy smokes.
Yeah.
We're having a wedding. Zlata does not want to see her granddaughter without a father. So she
Who does,
initiates
you
a
know?
wedding between Roller and Olga. Let's call them Rolga, right?
Rolga.
Yeah,
that's
I like
their
that.
name?
Rolga.
Okay.
So Rolga gets married. Oh boy, this is a recipe for disaster.
Well, I don't even know where to start, because I think both of them individually, we don't know too much about Olga, but just by alone when she left her baby in the manicurist, where was that at Desmond's shop? Remember she walked out and then she came back and forgot her baby? That right there already explained enough to me. I was like, okay, she's clearly not cut out
Ratchet.
for this life at all.
Yeah.
Roller, as we can see, he can't keep his thing in his pants.
His pickle.
Yeah, I mean his pickle,
Right.
he's got it in his pants. So who knows where it's gonna go? I mean, there's just no bond, there's no relationship, and I think it's just set up for destruction. And Zlata does not even know.
It's
Yeah.
awkward. Yeah. I don't even know why. I'm like, why?
Well, the final twist is, as we know, last season, the Russians rewarded Bryce and his wife, Jen, with this amazing mansion on the water because of his ability to carry out a hit. But Zlata, that's how I'm saying it, right? Yes.
Yep.
She overturns that authority completely and demands that Desna take Jen's house.
And I'm really trying to understand why. Like, why putting Jen out of the house and Bryce? What is it going to do? Like, what is it soothing? You know?
Power play.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is power play,
definitely.
but what is it soft? I guess we're gonna know that next season. I mean, next episode.
I think
but
it's, you know,
I don't
crime
understand.
bosses, when they puppeteer, they try to play mind games and manipulate those beneath them. And I hear
Yeah.
you, though. What's the practical?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any type of practicality going
Yeah.
on with them.
But maybe you two are right about the power play. The fact that I think that Zalta is trying to just push Desmond a little more harder because she sees so much potential in her to be like
A queen.
a queen. So I think she's trying to see like how much do you really want this business, or how far are you willing to go to save your brother? You know.
She's just scary. I mean, she did just off her sister. So I feel like she's going to push whether you want to or not. So you're just going to have to deal with it.
And that's the problem because
Yeah.
it's like you don't with Zalta or Zalata.
Nobody wants to be in this mafia, but they don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Exactly.
Right.
Like
Get over it.
either
Yeah.
you do it or you die.
Well, this was such a good episode. We covered as much as we could. We only have so much time, guys. Is there
Yeah.
anything I'm missing that you guys can... I think we covered a lot
I think
of it.
we covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if anything's missing again, guys, hop in those comments. Let us know. The good news is we don't just talk about the after show here. We bring you much more, including our news.
Ooh. All right, guys. So
AfterBuzz TV News.
there we go, you guys. It is time for our news segment. So, in case you were wondering about season 1 and you want to catch it, you just want to catch up, you can actually stream it now. Full episodes on Hulu. But back to season 2, everyone is raving about it. Even Variety said that season 2 is magnificent, and the fans had something to say. So, if you're a fan and you want to tweet us or leave us comments, let us know. We'll give you a shout out. From Karuchi, who says, Polly's meltdown cure. Think of something real white. That was a funny scene. That had me. And then YMO_121 says, wait, Roller got a baby mama? When? How? And then Sham_Rock says, I don't know which one was more extra, Roller's wedding or his funeral, which that was hilarious. And even the picture of Trump and Putin, when it was framed from Riva. Did you guys see that part?
Oh.
So yeah, everyone was just talking about that. But some more news and updates. So Janine Sherman Baroy, she was the showrunner of Claws, and now she's actually making her debut as the executive producer of the opening. So kudos to you.
Hey-o. Ladies,
Yep.
get it.
Yes,
Hey.
and also the show's fantastic costume designer is Dolores Ybarra. She does the nails to the costumes. A lot of you guys might look at
kills
the
it.
intricate
You guys are
designs.
killing it today, by the
Oh,
way.
thank you.
Our panel
thank
came
you.
prepared.
You know, I
They
do
got
need
their
a
own
fill.
claws.
I need to go see Desmond
Don't
myself.
shoot
Yeah.
me, but I do need a fill. But yeah, so they do the nail designs as well. I actually was looking up on Niecy Nash's recent Breakfast Club interview. They change their nails 3 times a day for an episode.
Wow.
That is crazy. But of course, a lot of them are press-ons.
Yes.
So check that out. And also, she spoke a lot about her personal life, to even her relationships, even her husband, to where they renewed their vows. And she says, "My husband taught me what consistency looks
This is
like."
Niecy?
Yes,
Yeah.
Niecy Nash. So I wonder what her character
Can learn.
especially with Dr. Ruval. So
Yeah.
there's that difference. But that is our news and updates. Yeah.
Well, guys, we'll keep you posted on all things Claws. We're also going to be
Yes.
adding a special segment next week, guys. Claws features so much amazing music and is
They
always
do.
introducing me to new songs. So for being the premiere of the season, there actually wasn't a ton of songs in this episode, but we'll be doing a song spotlight where we'll let you guys know our favorite song from the episode, talk about who wrote it, talk about where you can find it and everything. So that'll be there next week.
Yes.
I also we're going to do a fan shout out every episode.
Okay.
And I have to shout out our friend Dimples and Valentina. We always see you on Twitter. You've been keeping up with us all year. We love you. Thank you for tuning in. And we can't wait to see what you have thoughts-wise for next week. But
Thank you.
if you guys stay in the chat, get in the comments, we will shout you out, especially if we have a comment that we really like in the YouTube video down below. We'll read it on air and shout you out. So keep loving us, and we'll keep loving you. Finally, guys, I want to talk about what's going to happen next week. So let's get into our
yes.
predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Predictions.
Jinkies.
Love it. Perfect word choice.
All right, Jaimi, let's start with you.
Ooh, okay. So predictions. So I'm gonna go with the Dr. Ruval since we're just gonna segue into that. I definitely do not trust him, and I want to kind of take it back to the season finale of season 1 because if you remember, there was a scene where Roller, he had spotted Dr. Ruval, and I feel like they might know each other, and so when you see the upcoming episode where they're showing it, you kind of see them together, and he's pulling him by the collar. So I'm wondering, and I'm thinking, I'm right. So I think that there's definitely gonna be a lot of drama and conflict between Niecy, Roller, the Russians, the Haitians, just all the mafias. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really worried about Virginia and Dean. I honestly think that it's going to come out the next episode. I think that Virginia's going to open it up and tell Desna, or if not Desna, then Dean's going to probably tell her. And I think it's going to really blow up and cause more of a matter. So what I'm worried about is if Virginia is going to get a portion or not. That's the scary part, because I think that Dean is a lot more smarter than we think he is.
Yeah.
Right.
And he probably can definitely take care of his child, but I don't think Desna's having that. So that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and I don't know how Dean would take that, because he might be excited for fatherhood. So we'll have to
know.
see what happens
Yeah.
there. But I am a little worried about Jen and Desna. You know, and the thing, I don't want the show to have them fighting all season, because I love their friendship so much. They have such a cool dynamic, and I say it all the time, but I think Jen Lyon is kind of a dark horse of this show. I feel like she's kind of the emotional center of the group sometimes, I think. And I just love the work that she gives us. I mean, all of them kick ass on this show, but I hope the show doesn't have Jen and Desna butting heads too much, just because the show is so much about female friendship. So, but I mean, Desna's getting the house, so we'll have to see what happens.
Right.
I also predict, guys, that we will be back here next Monday at 4 p.m. to cover more of Claws, our favorite show on TNT. Oh boy, it's going to be an amazing season.
It is.
And guys, I
I'm
can't
ready.
wait to
I
keep
can
hosting
feel it.
with you guys.
I know, it's been a good show.
been
I
really
like a
fun.
good team.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, if you guys want to take us out, Jaimi, I would love for them to connect with you online. How and where can they do that?
All right, you guys. So you can find me on Twitter at It's Jaimi Gray, or on IG at Jaimi Gray. It's Jaimi. And I am also on Pose. We host Pose After Show and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for all my anime fans and Growing Up Hip Hop.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at I'm Jazzy. That's IMJAZZIEE. And yeah, chat me, hit me up.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham. If you guys are interested, I host a show on Fridays where we read unproduced pilots and features. And we're actually not having a show this Friday, but normally we are. So you can
stay
tune into
tuned,
that.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? We will be running a pre-tape. So that'll be Friday sometime in the afternoon. We haven't scheduled the show out yet, but let's get out of here, guys. Again, my name is Jeff. Find me on Twitter at Jeffrey C. Graham. And we will see you guys next week here for the Claws After Show.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.